Okay, it's a good day, right? What a great day. You guys doing good? It's team photo day today. Yeah. We obviously just finished up with the second scrimmage. And there's a lot of good on the tape, but obviously a lot of things that we need to work on, areas that we need to improve. Just overall defensively, I think more consistency across the board. I thought we maybe didn't have one of our better tackling days. I thought we tackled really well last week, and then hasn't been much of an issue throughout, but more missed tackles than we'd like. And then I think we just sort of focus on gap integrity, and I think that starts with alignment. Sometimes that's a simple thing that gets overlooked, but being aligned correctly up front at the second level, playing with the correct leverage in the back end, and then just in general, the zone fits, the gap fits. All these things will be imperative as we approach the opener. And then offensively, I think just another level of detail is out there. And I think that goes with the amount of we're carrying a lot right now. So the volume of things, the concepts, formations, whatever the case may be. But as we narrow it down, we're going to need to improve our detail. I think the perimeter play needs to improve. Tight ends on the edges, the receivers, not only in the run game, but all the perimeter concepts. And then situationally, I think missed some opportunities in the red area. I thought we had some chances to really break it open, and we didn't do that. That's an area 2 weeks in a row where we could be better. And I think special teams-wise, we need to continue to get better specialist play. And then obviously we're working on developing a two deep here. Who are our four core players? We had conversation this morning about if we were to play on the road right now, who would be the 70 players that would make the bus, right? So, and I think special teams affects that. And we all understand that special teams is about one-on-one battles. And I think that we got to win more of those, right? And when you're going against each other, I think there's good and bad there, right? So, other news, we're thankful that the single game tickets were sold out for the Utah opener. Obviously speaks to the history, the tradition here, and certainly the excitement. And we're very thankful for the support. And we all know that this is going to be a team effort. Certainly game day gives the fans an opportunity to be a part of the team. So what questions do we have here?
Billy, it's the line of scrimmage league, and so how are you seeing your 2D develop on both lines of scrimmage right now? And is there anything about it that's really standing out on both sides?
Yeah, no, I think I think we're making progress in terms of, okay, who is the two deep on the offensive line relative to how we're going to practice the players. And we'll start Utah prep on Thursday. And I think we kind of had some of those discussions earlier. But, who are the players that definitely will be up on the big field, and then who are the rotational players? Players may be on the look squad, taking reps with the job takers, and then they may come back and forth. I think both sides there, we've got some dialogue to have to make some decisions, but we're getting closer. I think we know who the 6th, 7th, and 8th player are on the offensive line. Who's the 4th tackle, who's the next best inside player. I think we've got some parts there. Defensively is very much the same. This is an area where I think we have made some progress. I think some of the guys that have minimal experience have developed to some degree. But I can't emphasize enough, they're going to get their first opportunities to play in the game. And I really think that's where the major improvements come, right? I think once I've been out there and I know what it's going to be like, then, okay, hey, that next week there's a different level of focus. So, there's players like Sapp, like Boone, like Princely, Antoine Powell. We got a number of players who maybe haven't played in college football. They haven't had a significant role that I think have the ability to affect our team, that are going to get their very first opportunity in a couple of weeks. So we've made some progress. I think we've got work to do there.
So, Billy, Montreal said last
Say that one more time.
Fewer turnovers, maybe a penalty or two more than a week ago. But can you just kind of dig in on how you guys are doing in those aspects that are so critical to like winning football games?
Yeah, no, we did. We were much improved offensively in particular. Now it's twofold, right? You want your defense to create takeaways, but we didn't turn it over on offense until the last play of the scrimmage in a 2-minute situation, and then we played. I think we had 4 what I would call technical penalties, and then we kind of minimized. I think we had 1 undisciplined penalty, so that's an area where I thought we took a step forward. It was pretty clean. We had a full SEC official crew there to officiate, which I thought was, they not only, we had a little kind of an instructional session, educational session with them as our team speaker on Friday. They were at practice the entire day Friday. They sat in meetings Friday, and then they officiated the scrimmage for us and called it just like they would call it on game day. So I think we benefited from that 2-day period, and certainly we're very thankful for the league to create that opportunity. And I do think that that's part of it, right? If I have a better understanding of the rules, if I know who's watching me, if I have an understanding of how that crew works, whose eyes are on who, how they communicate with each other, as the ball snap, where is the point of contact, who are they looking at, who's going to throw a flag on me, right? If I'm a inside receiver, if I'm the left guard, if I'm playing corner, right? Which member of the officiating crew is actually assigned to be looking specifically at me, right? So I think if we did it in the spring, we just did it again for a couple of days here, I think that's going to benefit our team.
Ricky and Jason have been sidelined for a little bit now at this point. Where are they at in their process, and could you see this potentially extending towards week 1 before they're available?
No, we feel really good about their progress. We anticipate getting them back this week. And I think both are very, common injuries and things that, just take a little time. We're just waiting on the performance team and the training room and the strength conditioning to make a decision that they're ready to go. They've been doing quite a bit of work, but in a controlled setting, if that makes sense. So, but we anticipate getting both those guys back here shortly.
What is your QB situation like now, especially backups, and give us any word on whether how long you might be out?
Yeah, so Jack had a thumb avulsion fracture, which is really the same surgery that Drew Brees had just a couple years ago. So we anticipate him missing, I'm going to say, the first 2 games. We hopeful that we get him back for week 3. He'll be in a cast for a couple of weeks as that thing grows back together, and then he'll start the rehab process. So, and then I think we're very much a competition there for the backup spot. I think we've seen Kitna do some good things. We've seen Engel do some good things. Max is a little bit behind mentally, obviously being a rookie. So those 2 will be observing over the next couple of days here. We've obviously got some time, but both those guys are really smart and have a good understanding of what we do and have moved the team. And I think in particular in this scrimmage showed that they have the ability to move the team.
Jalen also missed some time with his own injury. Would you feel comfortable if, let's say, Anthony went down for a player, lost a helmet, put him in there and gave him?
No doubt. Yeah, mentally he's, I think, probably one of the brighter kids in that room, and really probably has worked as hard as anybody to get to a point. And it's the beautiful thing about the way we practice, right? The number of repetitions throughout the summer OTA, that experience for the quarterback, and really our year-round plan for the quarterback in the summer in particular is a gauntlet. I mean, the amount of work we ask those guys to do independent of the team. I think he really jumped in, with both feet there, and has really good understanding. I would say as good as anybody in the room of what's going on out there.
Billy, in terms of Anthony running the ball, kind of a 2-part question. How much is that still going to add a dimension to this offense that you just have be, careful about him with Jack and Hurt?
Yeah, if I answered that question, I think they might find me around here, right? So, I think all these things that you guys may think of, we think of too, right? But, I do think that for us to win, Anthony Richardson's got to, we're going to play to his strengths, right? The guy's a phenomenal athlete. He can make plays with his feet. Some of those being designed, some of those being a threat, and some of those are unannounced, right? And I think that the key here is that he makes the right decision, and I think a lot of that is going to, be determined depending on our situation at that position. So, but there's no question we're going to use Anthony's, legs. It's got to be a part of who we are and what we do.
How do you feel about your running back rotation at this point? Do you feel like defenses are going to have a tough time trying to tackle you guys for 4 quarters?
Well, I think we're improving. I think we've got some guys in that room that can play winning football. I think that even the young freshman has showed flashes, right? So I think we've got 4 players that we trust. I think all those guys are smart. I think they're all dependable. They've got maturity. Coach DeLuke is doing what he does, right? He gets that room ready to play. So those guys have been productive on a consistent basis. I think in running back, I think sometimes gets overlooked all that they do for the team, right? In protection, catching the ball, and certainly, rushing the ball. So that's a good room. We'll find out how good, when we get to a game setting. But I do think that we've got some proven players in Naquan and Montrell, and then I think we've got Lorenzo who brings some things to the table, and certainly the freshman's a good player too. So time will tell.
Coach, I'm curious about your thoughts about some of the offseason rules changes with regards to peeling targeting, blocking downfield, and I guess they're going to crack down too on injury situations where they're trying to stop tempo and so forth.
Yeah, no, all these things are I think good for the game. I think obviously player safety being at the core of most of them, and then certainly a level of integrity relative to the feigning the injuries and all that. So I don't think the only issue I see, the one area that I think is pretty significant is the perimeter cut blocks. In particular, all these perimeter plays, that are essentially running plays on the perimeter where you have to block. The ability to cut has been a factor in some of those. So just how you coach those, I think our system, for the most part, we're going to be able to continue to do what we do. I think they're all good. They're all well thought out decisions, and certainly ones I think reflect improving the quality of the game and the safety of the game.
You got 3 practices basically left before you start game prep. Have you made the kind of progress since day 1 to get to this point that you thought you would make? Are you ahead, behind? How would you rate it?
I don't necessarily think I could answer that and be telling you the whole truth, if that makes sense. I think, honestly, I think I'll have a little bit better pulse as we narrow it down. The number of variables out there is really high right now, if that makes sense, right? I mean, what we do on offense, what we do on defense, the combination of those two. And I think that's one of the good things about kind of narrowing our focus when we work on an opponent is, okay, hey, here's the ready list, here's what's up, here's the inventory things that each player's got to know. And I think that'll help us. But no, I think we definitely have improved, but I do think that we're going to have a lot of players in our team that make significant strides throughout this season. And I'm not just talking about the players. I think that go back to some of the things I've said before. This is the first time we've done everything with a new group of players, at a new place with a new staff. Heck, we learn something about this building every day, right? So, just in general here, we're learning a little bit every day. So, but I do think we have a better understanding of our systems. I think we've improved fundamentally. I think we're much more of a close-knit group. You know, I think we know each other. I think we've actually got true connection. And I'm hopeful that that'll affect how we play, how we handle adversity, you know, our ability to stick together. You know, I think football is a game of momentum. It's a game of emotion, but I think it's important that we, you know, how is that going to affect our team, right? Are we going to splinter? Are we going to stick together? Is it going to galvanize our team? And I think one of the things we've taken great pride of in the past is, you know, we were a group that was together, right? And I'm hopeful we can have that type of team here.
Time for just a few more, guys. We'll go to Mark. Anthony's been out of the public eye for a few weeks now. Is there something to be said for insulating, managing, maybe taking something off his plate? And have you gotten the desired result of that going in?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, you know, Anthony is been very pleased. I think in particular as of late, I think probably the last 4, 5, 6 practices, I think I've seen him make improvement. Couldn't ask for much more. You know, I mean, I think just in terms of the humility, the consistency, you know, the attitude. I think he's bright. I think he's got character. He does all the things that you would want a quarterback to do. I think, you know, the guy's really an inexperienced player. I mean, I know we all want to put a crown on his head, you know what I mean? But the guy's completed 33 passes in his career, right? So, you know, the great quarterbacks at the University of Florida, they complete 33 in one game, right? So I think we've got work to do there, right? We've got to get game ready, right? And what does that look like? The guy's prepared for one game as a starter. And I don't know that he knew the whole week that he was going to be the starter, right? So this is a new experience for him, right? With a new staff, with a new system, right? I mean, there's a certain level of responsibility that comes with all this. And he's a young man, right? But as far as what I'm observing is a guy that's excited about the opportunity, you know, and I think one of the cool things about this kid is I think he rises to the occasion, right? I mean, I think the brighter the lights get, the better he is, right? So I want him to bring the same level of urgency, you know, to every meeting, every walkthrough, every practice rep, right? I want the players in the room to change when he walks in the room. I want the players on the field to change when he's on the field, right? I think playing quarterback is a lot about how you influence other people, right? And the expectations that you have and your example. So I think that's a big challenge with Anthony right now is for him to fully embrace, like, I am the standard, right? And, you know, match my detail, match my intensity, match my focus, match my approach, right? And him walking around. If anybody's got a question about how things should be done when it comes to the University of Florida and our football program, they should be able to look at the quarterback and say, okay, I'm going to watch him, and then I'm going to do it like he does it.
How much has Patrick Tony's defense and the scheme caused problems for your offensive camp and in the scrimmage? Are you having him keep it vanilla at times, or is he just dialing it up?
Yeah, it's another question I don't know if I need to answer. You know, Patrick and I, obviously, this will be our 5th year working together, right? So, you know, we have a gentleman's agreement in terms of how we do everything, right? We play complementary football. There's no winner and loser any day, right? I mean, we win and lose in the fall. It's more about teaching football, you know, in terms of the number of variables that we present. You know, I think we've done this a handful of times, right? So we kind of understand. He knows when he's got me. I know when I've got him. We're both smart enough to understand that. You know, I think the key here is that we get our team ready to play. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, competition at kicker, how is that going? And can you see having a separate guy in terms of kickoffs and place kickers, or do you watch it?
Yeah, I think a lot of that's to be determined, right? I think we're going to be evaluating that as we approach the opener. I could see two guys doing two different jobs. I could see it go the other way too, right? The good thing is that I don't think we have a problem. I think we got two guys that are very capable. And I think, you know, there's healthy competition there, but I've got confidence in both players.
Guys, one last question. We'll finish with Jacob here in the back.
Will that go into the first game, or do you want to have a kicker before Utah?
I think we'll have press conferences between now and then.
Hey guys, we're gonna finish with Jacob.
Ethan White and David Connor were in attendance at the beginning of the scrimmage yesterday. Is there any update on those two guys?
Yeah, Ethan had a minor setback, had a small procedure, was out for a little bit. He'll be back. David Connor's a little bit more extensive, and I think a lot of that is to be determined in the future. Nothing major there with Ethan. You know, David, I think, is to be determined.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, guys, thank y'all.